From $0 to millionaire. The immigrant who refused to quit. The plane touched down at JFK Airport at 2:17 a.m. Outside the window, New York City lights glittered like a sky full of stars that had fallen to earth. For everyone else on that flight, it was just another destination. For Arjun Malik, it was everything. In his pocket, he had exactly $73. In his backpack, 2 shirts, 1 old laptop, and his mother's photo. And in his heart, a dream too big for his small hometown to hold. No friends, no family, no job, no backup plan, just a one-way ticket. Most people would call it crazy, but Arjun called it hope. The beginning of nothing. The cold wind hit his face as he stepped outside the airport. It was October, much colder than he expected. He wrapped his thin jacket tighter and whispered to himself, "Welcome to America. Don't mess this up." His English wasn't perfect. His accent was strong, but his determination, unbreakable. He took a cheap bus to Queens and checked into the lowest rated hostel he could find. $28 per night. Shared room. 6 strangers, snoring louder than traffic. That night, lying on the creaky bed, staring at the ceiling fan, he asked himself the question everyone asks at some point. Did I make a mistake? Back home, he had a small job, a safe life, comfort. Here, nothing. But then he remembered something his father once told him. If you want a different life, you must be ready to feel uncomfortable. So he closed his eyes and made a promise. No matter what happens, I will not quit. Survival mode. The next few weeks were brutal. He applied everywhere. Restaurants, gas stations, warehouses, stores. Sorry, we're not hiring. Experience. Work permit. Come back later. Rejection. Again, and again, and again. Sometimes people didn't even look at him properly. Sometimes they laughed at his accent. Each rejection felt like a punch. But every night, he reminded himself, one more day. Just survive one more day. Finally, after 23 days, he got a job washing dishes at a small restaurant. $10 per hour, 12-hour shifts, hands always wet, back always hurting. But when he received his first paycheck, he smiled like he had won the lottery, because it wasn't money, it was proof that he could survive. The dream inside the laptop. After long shifts, while others slept, Arjun worked, not on dishes, not on cleaning, but on his dream. Back home, he had learned basic coding from free YouTube videos. He wasn't an expert, but he loved building things, apps, websites, tiny tools. He believed one thing strongly: skills can change destiny. Every night from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., he coded, eyes burning, fingers tired, but heart alive. His roommates laughed. "Bro, just sleep. Why are you working so hard?" He would just smile, because they couldn't see what he saw. He didn't want to work for tips forever. He wanted to build something that worked for him. Chapter 4. The lowest point. One winter evening, everything went wrong. The restaurant owner cut his hours. Less work, less money. His savings dropped to $120. Rent due, food expensive, snow falling. He skipped meals, sometimes just bread and water. One night, sitting alone on a park bench, freezing, he stared at the city lights. For the first time, he cried, "Maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe I should go back." He opened his wallet, looked at his mother's photo. She had sold her gold bangles to buy his ticket, and suddenly, quitting wasn't an option anymore. He wiped his tears, stood up, and said quietly, "If life hits harder, I'll work harder." Chapter 5. The idea. One day at work, he noticed something. The restaurant owner struggled with online orders. The system was slow, confusing, expensive. Small restaurants were losing money because they couldn't manage delivery apps. That's when a thought sparked. What if I build something simple, cheap just for small restaurants? A basic ordering system. Easy, affordable, made for people like his boss. He rushed home that night and started coding like crazy. No Netflix, no weekends, no parties, only code. For 3 months straight. Chapter 6. First failure. Finally, the app was ready. He showed it proudly to his boss. The boss looked for 2 minutes and said, "Not interested." Just like that. Rejected. Again. It hurt more than job rejections, because this was his dream. But instead of quitting, he asked, "Why?" The boss replied, "Too complicated. I don't understand it." That sentence changed everything. Arjun realized something powerful. It's not about what you build, it's about what people need. So he redesigned everything. Simpler, cleaner, one button, no confusion. Chapter 7. First win. He visited 20 restaurants. 19 said no. The 20th said, okay, we'll try. His hands were shaking when they installed it. That week, orders increased. Mistakes decreased. Owner saved money. The owner smiled. This is good. Very good. That night, Arjun walked back home under streetlights feeling like a king, because someone believed in his work. Soon, that owner told to friends, then 5, then 10. Slowly, his small app started spreading. Word of mouth. No ads, just value. Chapter 8, The Big Leap. After 1 year, he had 40 restaurants using his software. They paid monthly. It wasn't huge, but it was steady. One evening, standing outside the restaurant kitchen, soaking wet, exhausted, he looked at his hands, red, wrinkled, tired, and he thought, if I don't jump now, I never will. So he did the scariest thing of his life. He quit his job. No safety, only faith. Full-time on his startup. Everyone called him crazy, but sometimes, crazy is just courage in disguise. Growth. Days turned into nights, nights into mornings. He learned marketing, sales, customer support, everything, alone. He failed 100 times. Servers crashed, clients complained, bugs everywhere. But he fixed everything, step by step, month by month. The app got better. Restaurants loved it. Then something magical happened. A food blogger tweeted about his software. Suddenly, hundreds of messages, hundreds of signups, phones ringing nonstop. He couldn't believe it. The moment. 3 years after landing in America with $73, Arjun checked his bank account. $1 million for 132. He stared at the screen, refreshed it, again and again. Still there. $1 million. The same boy who skipped meals now owned a growing company. Tears rolled down his face, but not from sadness, from gratitude. He whispered, "We did it, Mom." Final message. Today, his company helps thousands of small restaurants. He hires immigrants like himself, people with dreams, people with hunger, because he knows something the world forgets. Success isn't about talent. It's about not quitting. It's about showing up when you're tired, working when nobody claps, believing when nobody believes. He didn't start with money. He didn't start with connections. He started with courage. And sometimes, that's all you need. Closing line for narration. So if you ever feel broke, lost, or behind in life, remember this. The difference between 0 and a million isn't luck. It's the decision to keep going. One more day,